dirty cops are a cancer, and they need to be cut out of law enforcement. I'm about to call some out. Everything I'm going to say is true, 100%. We have documentation. We know it's true. And to any of these cops, I challenge you, sue me for defamation, whatever you want to make up. It didn't stop you from making up stuff before, because I will wipe the floor with you in court, because it's true. I will wipe the floor with you. Nevada has an anti-SLAPP statute. You don't have a chance. But talk to an attorney, whatever you want to do. Everything I'm about to say is true. Let's start with Gang Task Force. Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department, Criminal Intelligence, Gang Unit, Motorcycle Clubs, otherwise known as Gang Task Force. 4 out of the 6 are dirty. 4 out of 6. 66%. Why don't we just start with Joseph Gagliardi and John Woosnam? They hate me. They absolutely hate me. And they're connected to con man James Kimsey. Now, con man James Kimsey, how do I know he's a con man? First of all, they told me. Second, I checked it out afterwards, and yes, he has gone to prison for being a con man. For forgery, submitting false documents to court, practicing law without a license, all kinds of felony crimes. He's gone to prison because he's a con man. He also hates me, and I'm okay with that. He really hates me. But I don't think as much as Gagliardi or Woosnam. So, conman James Kimsey, November 27th, 2012, sends a 6-page fax to lots of people. Law enforcement, non-law enforcement. Attorney, a city office, law enforcement, sends this fax to all these people. And it's full of all kinds of just wrong things. It's just not true. He accuses me of being part of a murder. He accuses me of working with motorcycle clubs to do drugs and guns and all kinds of things. Okay, but the most interesting thing it says is it claims I'm a confidential informant for Metro, which of course isn't true. And it attaches a transcript that involves Gagliardi and Woosnam. This is transcript. Gagliardi and Woosnam are talking to somebody else, and there's actually 2 lines added to the transcript that aren't in the original. And the 2 lines actually say that I'm a confidential informant. So, all right, it's falsified. Look, James Kimsey committed like 12 felonies, like a dozen felonies. And it's falsified. And it's sent to law enforcement, and it's sent to lots of people, actually. But Gagliardi and Woosnam, they know about it. Okay? How do I know they know about it? For one, in April 2013, there's a documented conversation with an officer named Bob Wiley to where they talk to him about it. They talk to him about it, and they say, hey, James Kimsey, they explain him, and they explain our relationship and how he hates me, and he's getting back at me, and they know who sent it, James sent it from a FedEx that had security cameras. So we got video, very high quality video, showing who it is. And they saw all that. They knew about it. Why didn't they do anything about it? This happened in November 2012. I didn't find out till the end of April 2013. 5 months. For 5 months, they let this rumor fester. Now, I'm an attorney, represents multiple motorcycle clubs. Lots of them. Google it, whatever. So they knew it was false. They knew it was out there. And in their minds, I was in danger. What did they do? They sat back and said, let's see if Stubbs gets hurt. They're officers of the law, and they step back. They take absolutely no action against James Kimsey. And interestingly, Sheriff Doug Gillespie is also spreading the rumor. He told another officer, we have the testimony, in December 2012, Stubbs is a confidential informant. He told him. So we've got Gillespie spreading the rumor, who hates me. we've got these guys letting Kimsey spread the rumor. And interestingly, as soon as I found out about this, first thing I did is I take copies, make multiple copies. And I go to the presidents of all the motorcycle clubs, because I got to quash this rumor. If it's out there, I got to make sure, nobody believes it because it's not true. And so I go to everybody. I go to all the clubs, all of them. And everybody's like, okay, all right, cool, that's fine. All right, thank you. Thank you for the information. But then I get to Diablo. Now, Diablo is the president of a chapter of the Vagos Motorcycle Club. He was also, for years, a confidential informant. Who were his handlers? Gagliardi and Woosnam. So I call him up, want to talk to him. And, before, every time I'd talk to him, it'd be somewhere normal, right? A bike or something, somewhere normal. This time, he wants to make an appointment for one. That was strange. So we make an appointment. And he wants to meet me at a parking lot of this bar. And the parking lot is like wide open for anybody to see anything, right? That was weird too, because that had never happened before. And then he wanted his truck doors open while we were talking, and I didn't know at the time he was a confidential informant, but I told him, look, James Kimsey sent this fax, it's not true, blah, blah, blah. He's just like, what do you want me to do about it? Like, excited that he wanted to help, wanted to do something. What do you want me to do about it? I'm just like, nothing. I want you to know about it. It's not true. I want you to know. I want you to tell your guys, right? It's not true. I'm not a confidential informant. That would ruin my business, right? Who's going to go to an attorney who is a confidential informant for the police? Nobody. I would no longer be the attorney for all these motorcyclists. I'd no longer be there. And then he says, well, we could take care of him. Meaning cause physical harm to James Kimsey. And I said, no, absolutely not. No, don't do any of that. He's like, are you sure? Absolutely sure, I'm sure. Don't do any. No, I just want you to know about it. And he's like, okay. He's a confidential informant. And his handlers are Gagliardi and Woosnam. Why would they not want to stop this rumor? Think about it. Gagliardi in October of 2013. Now this happened in April 2013. They know about it because of Bob Wiley. They know about it because of their confidential informant and what's going on. But this got involved in a court case, right? A rumor is going around that I'm a confidential informant. I represent a certain biker who's also in another case. So that attorney brings it before the judge and just be like, hey, we got to see what's going on here, because that's not right if he's a confidential informant. So Gagliardi submits an affidavit to the court. And the affidavit says something very interesting. It says, this is October 2013. It said, quote, I have no knowledge of where the November 27th, 2012 fax originates. Unquote. Wait a second. This is October. He sent an affidavit filed with the court under penalty of perjury saying, I have no knowledge of where the November 27th, 2012 fax originates. But you had a confidential informant that you were handling that was informed of it, that tried to set me up. But that was, and Bob Wiley, we've got a documented conversation of you telling him you know all about it and what's going on. This is a lie. He lied to the court. He committed perjury. 100%, he's a perjurer, he's a liar, submitting false information to the court. Do you know who else is a perjurer? His boss, Sergeant, at the time, Yesenia Yatomi. Now, I've mentioned this in other videos, but it's pertinent now. Sergeant Yatomi lied to try to get me in trouble. She arrested me. Oh man, I was at an event where I was going to be lecturing on the Constitution, and there was a guy there, Bikers for Christ. He's a Christian minister and a biker. He was being questioned by police, and police and I were getting along great. Everything was fine until Yatomi showed up. And Yatomi shows up in her big SUV with all her people. And they've got all these guns and tactical gear. They look like they're going to war. And she immediately orders me to leave. She says, "Get out of here, Stubbs. I'm going to question him without you here." I'm like, "No way." And I stood my ground and she arrested me. I thought I went to jail. I was just like, I'm going to battle this in court. These charges aren't going to stand, blah, blah, blah. And I was there, and then I read the affidavit she submitted, full of lies, just lies. But interestingly, it would have been her word against my word. And if I'm the defendant and she's the sergeant with the Metropolitan Police Department, who's a jury going to believe? Who's a judge going to believe? I was in real trouble, except someone took out their camera and they videotaped it. And we were able to prove that she was lying. She lied on the witness stand. And after the prosecution finished their case, he said, "You don't even have to put on a defense, Mr. Stubbs. You're not guilty." Because she's a liar and she's a perjurer. And on October 6th, 2016, there's a status check. We're trying to get her held accountable for that. She might be held in contempt of court. Hopefully she is, because she deserves it. But Yesenia Yatomi is a perjurer and a liar. Let's talk about something else. It's the political season, right? Everybody's saying all kinds of things about everybody. Everybody's expressing their opinions about political candidates. I did the same thing some years ago when District Attorney Steve Wolfson was running for re-election. I was on a political forum. It was called the Boulder City Political Forum. And I expressed my opinions about District Attorney Steve Wolfson at the time. And I specifically said that he did not prosecute certain people as favors. I believed it at the time, and I said it. And I also said, as part of that, so the people are felons, just not convicted felons, meaning they committed the felony, but they weren't convicted of it because Steve Wolfson let him go and wouldn't prosecute. So I said that. I didn't even think anything of it. It's in a political forum, like no big deal. Doug Gillespie hears about that, and he orders Deputy Chief James Owens to get me. The emails, we have the emails. The emails describe a, quote, blood in the water, unquote, mentality. Blood in the water. He hates me and he's coming after me. And all the way down the chain of command, it went all the way down to Officer Chris Hall. Nobody said, "Hey, wait a second. Doesn't Stubbs have a First Amendment right to say this?" Nobody said that. Judge Adair, 8th Judicial District Court Judge Adair, proclaimed my statements to be protected by the First Amendment, which is totally correct. So that was my saving grace. But it got all the way to the grand jury. All the way to the grand jury. Chris Hall, Officer Chris Hall, employee of Metro underneath Sergeant Yesenia Yatomi, his name is on the grand jury subpoenas. He was the investigator. No one down the line said, "We probably shouldn't do this because it's political speech and it's the First Amendment." Think about that. During this political system, while you are on Facebook or anywhere expressing your opinion about the political candidate of your choice or of not your choice, think about that. They, applying that standard, would have come after you for saying something like that. Would have come, Hillary for prison, whatever, right? They would have come after you and tried to prosecute you for that. According to the emails, there was someone in the DA's office that was involved too. I don't know who that is. We don't know. But someone in the DA's office was involved too. If that's not corruption, if that's not dirty cops, heck, I don't know what is. This is crazy. This is crazy. Joe Lombardo. I have a former employee. Her name's Lisa Lemley. She was married to a cop. She was actually a pretty good employee until I found out that she had this little scam going to where people would come in with money to pay tickets, and she would keep the money and then wait until it was due and then put it on her credit card with the courts. So she was like using my office to get a cash advance on her credit cards. She ended up, the balance sheet was okay, right? The balance sheet was fine, maybe off by $2, her balance sheet meaning, because she paid out the money that she got, but she was getting this free cash advance, violated all kinds of internal rules, and so I fired her. I had to. I don't think I really had a choice, okay? But she had taken a laptop that she had no right to take. It was in storage. It was a retired laptop. It had emails on it. It had some things on it. But she had taken that laptop, and she decided to give it to somebody that she thought could maybe use it to hurt me in some way. So this person calls up Sheriff Lombardo and says, hey, I got this laptop, but I don't know if I can use it. And he says, don't worry, I'll get someone on it. Now, nobody called me, right? Even though I'm the owner of the laptop and all these. Nobody called me at all. John Woosnam calls up this guy. And it's just like, you're good. Do whatever you want. You're good. Just do whatever you want. Lombardo went down the chain of command to gang task force, and John Woosnam is the guy that calls this guy up. Okay? Now, again, he didn't talk to me. You'd think that if he's a detective and he's supposed to look into something, he would actually go and talk to people and see what's going on. But he's dirty, so he doesn't do that. Chris Hall. Sure, he was involved in the First Amendment thing. Chris Hall is even dirtier. I've got voicemails he left on people's phones. I have the recordings. I have them. Where he is threatening to harass them and their family and their club if they don't give him information. He wants some intelligence. He wants some information. He wants them to talk to him. They don't want to talk to him. And he says, we're going to pull him over and give him tickets and blah, blah. He's threatening police action if they don't talk to him. We've got it. And yeah, I'm going to share this. I don't do it for any tabloid type, information, but it's important because he falsifies records. He falsified records, and it caused 2 felony cases to go to crap because he falsified records. But Chris Hall wasn't happy with his marriage, and he decided he was going to date other girls while he was still married. But of course, he didn't want his wife to find out. So what does he do? He goes out and he starts dating while on the job. I don't care what he does with his personal life. I just don't care. But while on the job, he goes out and he dates other women. And he tries to seduce them, specifically. He tries to seduce them, and he drinks alcohol on duty. He tells them about the cases. That's why the 2 cases went to crap. Because he told them about the cases, and he was supposed to be working on the cases, but instead, he was out dating girls. Now, his job is intelligence, right? And if his job is intelligence, he's supposed to be gathering that intelligence. He's supposed to be writing reports about what he's doing. He's supposed to account for his time. Was he truthful on his reports of what he was actually doing? Did he write his report, took a 5-hour break to try to get in the pants of this girl? Did he do that? Heck no, he didn't do that. Instead, he wrote something else in his report. And obviously, it didn't have the complete information because of what he was doing. Chris Hall wrote false reports, and two felony cases went to crap specifically because of it, because of his dirty actions. Look. We've got gang task force motorcycle clubs, 4 out of 6. We've got Gillespie, top dog. And of course, we've got Deputy Chief James Owens that was involved in one of the things as well. All dirty. All of them. Dirty cops need to be cut out like the cancer that they are.